me. This is indubitably Denise. I decided to try this new feature in regard to like going to your shorts. They have this tab now about going live. And so now you're going live vertically versus horizontally. And so I want to test it out and see what's going on and sip some tea. My lovely cup, or I guess my teacup, comes courtesy of Nancy Cargis. I participated in Dee Dee Bean's Galentine's Day earlier this week, and I received this, and I'm just like sipping. I'm really, really happy to be sipping my tea today because I've had some issues with my throat this morning. I was like, what's going on? I think it's because I've been kind of drinking a little bit more hot substances on my throat to just kind of coat it and awaken it. So yeah, trying to see what's all happening. So if you are here, send something in the chat so I can see how this is working because this is new for me. I don't know how long ago this feature came out, but I did see just more detailed information about it. And so I said, well, let me test it out today and see what's happening. So, hi everyone. It's very impromptu. I'm literally just sitting here talking to myself. I'm not really bothered by it. Whatever. I mean, you can watch it in the replay. I am drinking. I love I think it's puka. They're puka teas. I love the peppermint and licorice, and I usually mix two bags together, the three mints, and so that just helps me. Like I said, get my throat alive, start to come alive, and really, really work well. My issue right now with tea is how many times do you steep the tea bags? I think sometimes they say you can get two servings, I guess, out of them. And I think it all depends on how big your initial serving is. I wouldn't even say, I don't know what the ounces are on this cup. I want to say it's less than 8. It fools you because it's double insulated. So even though this cup is here this size, if you look on the inside, of course, the inner part of it is smaller. And so I'll probably just add some more hot water to what I have right now. And I think I'm going to do that momentarily, maybe after I finish with this. I don't know. But anywho, I hope you all are having a wonderful Thursday. I hope that Valentine's Day was just what you wanted, whether or not someone did it for you or you did it for yourself. I am pretty big about my self care, and so I don't lean to anyone else doing things for me. I think for me being like that, it just makes it better. That when someone does something for me, I think it's really authentic and genuine and really, really nice. Otherwise, I'm very, very independent about what I want for myself and how I'm going to go about getting those, whatever it is. That's just me. I've been like that all my life. I don't know. My dad particularly always stressed for me to be my own boss. He stressed for me to figure things out. Always challenged me in that way, and still challenges me that in that light to this day. And I'm very appreciative of that. And my mom has always been very supportive of whatever um, adventure or thing that comes to mind that I want to achieve. Very supportive of me. Love both of my parents. Shout out to them because they really have crafted a crazy person. I'm not crazy, but I'm very passionate about the things that I engage in. And I'm also very passionate about what God has in store for me. And so you'll start to see me talk more and more about that because it's time out for us as individuals, as human beings, as spiritual beings. It's time out for us to just keep things to ourselves. So many people are going through things. I'm going through things. And I'm just an open book. I am an open book at this point. I still am kind of lenient as to how much I share, but I think for like serious big issues, I am open. Hi, Minnie. Hey, how you doing today? Um, my thing is right now is that it's important to share because there is a light that in some ways appears that is dimming in our world because of darkness appearing that is taking over. And we as individuals who are spiritually minded, kingdom minded, it is so important that we get out and we share and we talk and we engage and we not judge and we not put down, but we uplift and inspire and encourage. It's so important that we begin to do that more and more because what we see all the time is this darkness, and it will have you thinking that that's all that it is right now. It's just a little flicker of light somewhere. But even if it is just that flicker of light, we need to make that bigger because that's not going to ever go away. The light is never going away. Think about it. Uh, the sun does not just stop shining. You know, the sun is where it is, however far it is away from us. Thank goodness it's kind of far, but some days it seems like it's right there on us. However, like being here, if there's a cloudy day, you still have this mist of light behind that because you could tell the darkness or the daytime from the nighttime. So the sun is never going to stop shining. That light is never going to stop shining. Even the moonlight, even though it's a darker atmosphere or what have you, you still have that light shining through the moon. So it's up to us to really just talk about the things that's going on in our lives and share it, not be ashamed. It took me a minute to stop feeling ashamed of the circumstances and situations that I was being exposed to. It really took a minute. It really took a minute. I had to really truly dive in to the word and dive into strengthening my relationship with God through it all. Because to go to drugs and alcohol was not the answer. And that's easy for me to say at this point, but I know at one point that was like a small piece of how I used to handle things. Because I felt like, hey, I'm grown. I can do whatever I want to do. You would never see me sipping tea if it probably had some alcohol in it. This does not. But I had to learn. I really had to learn that that was not helping me in my situation. And so diving into loving myself more because, hey, y'all, I used to have really terrible self esteem about myself. It was pretty low. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say it probably was at a 2. And that goes from a teenager all the way up until my young adult years, probably well into my early 30s. I had low self esteem. And so I lived in this world of pretend that I had to almost in a sense fake it, but I wasn't trying to make it. I was just faking it. I was just faking it. And I after going through and experiencing hardships and hardships, because I was, whew, my heart was impacted and hurting. After experiencing that a number of years, it was just like, you know what, it's time out for all of that. It's time out. I can make this choice to just stop. And I don't have to stop by way of consuming myself in these things that I know is not good for me. I can just say stop and let God step on in and do what he is going to do. If you know about God's promises, you know that he's going to keep those promises. He's not a God of confusion, and he's not a God that's going to have you running around here like a chicken with your head cut off. He's not. We make those choices, but he gives us that option to come to him because he's open, he's ready. The grace and mercy is there. To know and learn about that, the older I am getting each and every day, I'm just so encouraged to the point that I got to tell people. I can't keep it to myself. I know a lot of people talking about people are gatekeepers and they like to, as I stated, keep information and to themselves and not really share that. And I've experienced people doing that to me, and then I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I think it's just much more simpler to just share and inform and encourage, because that's just the makeup of me. That's what was given to me. And so I want to give that back to other people, but People are just, ooh, most days I just don't like people. And what I mean by that, I don't like to have to deal with people that aren't just loving individuals. I don't like to deal with that. So I've had to deal with really just focusing on myself. I am an introvert, introvert. I am a loner. I love that. Now I can engage and be around people and have a good time and joke and laugh and all of that good stuff. But where my battery charge comes from is just being in solitude, being present in God's word, being present in God's blessings. That's where I really truly just have to charge myself, recharge myself. And so I just don't care. Ignore that. This is the beauty of doing this from my phone, because normally I'm on my computer and I'm trying to snap out of just solely doing things on my computer. So I wanted to try out this way today, but I'm learning and I'm growing and I am enjoying this. I reflect a lot about what I am, where I am now, where I versus where I used to be. And when I speak like this, I wasn't like just down in the dirt, grimy, or like Iyanla Van Zant called someone gutter snipe. I wasn't on that level at all. I was not. But I can tell you the major difference of being rooted in the church and having that foundation, leaving that momentarily, leaving that and getting involved in worldly things. I know the difference. I can tell you some difference, whether I experienced it or whether I witnessed it. I did a lot of witnessing of seeing people do things and make choices. And I sat there and said, that's not going to be my life. I don't want that. I don't want that for myself. I don't want those consequences for myself. And so I did not. But I was right there. Now, maybe if I reflect, could I have talked people out of the situations? I think I attempted, but I don't think I attempted real hard, because I was just like, well, this is your life, this is your decision. I know what the decision that I'm going to make, and that's not what you're doing. I'm not going over there with you. And I used to be the person that would just say yes. Maybe not yes all the time, but yes majority of the time. And now I've gotten to the point, no, I don't want to. My self-care, my self-awareness has increased. Uh, just anything regarding me, it has gotten better. And so I'm just like, no, I can't partake in that. I can't even offer. I'm sorry about that, because I'm not sorry. I'm not apologizing. Um, I have that choice just as well as you have that choice. And I feel that I have gotten better. Um, I was reflecting with my dad on yesterday that when I am put in a situation where I do have to really truly assert myself in such a way that maybe I ignite my anger, which I try not to stay involved in that for too long, I do notice a difference where I don't have any body aches or hurting pains because I've taken it to that level. I feel like I have to go to that level, let it out, and then I'm good. And so I know other people have issues where they may have ailments that start to happen. I'm not going to tell you I don't get a headache every now and then. I try my best to manage even my headaches if I can. But I've noticed that I don't really stress like I used to. I used to stress so bad my body would start to really throw out these signals to me that, hey, that's not going to work. But now I don't feel that way. I really try my best to live in a way that I recognize we're going to have challenges every single day. We do not live in a perfect world. Even as Christian individuals, people that believe in the power of God, we're going to have our challenges. Just because I'm saved, just because I've been baptized, just because I go to church every Sunday, just because I do this, that, and the other, does not mean I am not going to have some trials and tribulations. What I have taught myself, I embrace those things because that's going to build my faith. That's going to empower and build that relationship that I have with God, and I'm all for it. But it's about how do you manage those trials and tribulations? Do you lean into the negative piece of that happening? Like, this abruptly happened to you, it took you by surprise. It took you by surprise in such a way that it knocked you off your feet. And it didn't knock you off your feet the good way. It knocked you off your feet until you landed on that ground and you just sat in it. We don't have time to sit in nothing. We got to bounce back. We got to jump right back up and say, you know what? I'm gonna hit this hard on. Like, I'm going straight forward. I'm not gonna allow this to just take me down. I have to stand on the promises of God. I have to stand on the power, the armor, the everything that He has equipped me with in order to fight these battles. Because overall the battle is not mine, it's God's. And so I have to turn it over to Him and allow Him to really do what He's going to do. I'm in Bible study every week and I'm learning so much. We're covering Romans, the book of Romans. Now, for me to tell you everything that I've learned, I can't do that just yet because I want to get to that point. That's the type of Christian I want to strive to start telling you, like, boom, boom, boom. I'm not called to preach. I'm not called to evangelize. So that's not me. But studying the book of Romans is just such an intentional piece right now of learning how Paul wants the people of that time to tap into their power that God has already provided. And it's like it's been such a wonderful experience thus far, learning and diving a little bit deeper. Because, growing up in church, yeah, the pastor talked about Romans this and Romans that and the book of Romans and read this chapter. And, we talk about God strengthening us and each book in the Bible. But when you actually sit down, break down the word, and start to apply that to today's term, because people will tell you, oh, the Bible was written 2,000 years ago. That was then. That stuff's not happening now. No, that same stuff is happening now. Just take off the mask of things that we see. It's still, take away the cars, the vehicles, the homes, the mansions, all of this money. They had money, it was gold coins. We just got dollar bills. We got gold bars. I mean, it's the same thing, but we got to dive deeper into it and apply it because it is applicable, as they say. And so for me, that has been helping me a great deal. I can't stress about the hurts and pains of the past. I don't think about that because I've forgiven myself and others for those things that happened. Um, Moving forward, I'm trying to live life, y'all. I'm trying to live life. That's why this particular channel started off, and it continues talking about my love for handbags because I use that as my self-care. I also use it as a way for me to embrace the blessings that God has bestowed upon me. Um, as my pastor, and a lot of pastors say, he has moved me from strength to strength. And so I recognize that. Hi, Cheryl William. Let me read your comment. Focusing and being peaceful with oneself is a beautiful thing. It truly is. I follow a lot of God's principles that help me make sound decisions. It keeps the stress down. Yes, indeed. Let Debbie Downers go as well. You spoke a word there because I tell you, I will just walk off in mid sentence, and I've learned to do that because I watched other people do it to me. And in that, it wasn't necessarily me being a Debbie Downer, but you have to exercise your peace. Your peace can't come from the next person. Like, you really have to search within yourself and know and learn more about yourself. I have told people, I think I started practicing this when I turned 31 or 32. I really wanted to tune in to knowing what my heartbeat felt like not just be touching my chest, but really going into these mindfulness exercises with myself and listening and feeling even the inside of my body, taking those deep breaths and feeling and feeling, truly feeling what it is for my lungs to fill up and then exhale. What does that feel like? What does it feel like when I move my wrist? How do those bones move? I really started to just like play this game with my body like that, like really feeling and noticing and being intentional and figuring out what's going on. So when I started doing that, when I became sick, I knew immediately, uh-oh, I'm sick. I could feel when I've inhaled something, if I'm around a bunch of people and I'm breathing normally and I've inhaled something that, uh-oh, something went in my nose and it's affecting my sinuses, I'm probably going to be stopped up. And when I started doing that, I think it was truly a game with myself, but then it was true. It was like, wow, I noticed the difference. And so I'm saying all that to say, the difference between when you're feeling good, when you're feeling bad, when you're uneasy, when you're at peace. So when you recognize and know those things, how do you respond? Do you say, I want to experience that more? I want to experience peace. Because once I had it and I felt so good in being in it, I was like, I want more of that. Now you have some people that like, and I've done this and I can admit it. Boy, I get to cursing sometimes. And yeah, I'm a Christian and I'm saved and I do curse. Um, but when I curse, I feel so good. But then I realize I really don't like the aftermath of that. So let me decrease engaging myself in that. So I recognize the difference and I recognize what peace is for me. Peace for me is when I start to overthink, I have to lay down because I just have to relieve myself of my brain just overreacting. That's the way that I handle it. In the past, when I was younger, it would be, hmm, let me go and get some Jack and Coke and just soothe my mind. Yeah, it calmed me down, but after a while, I still had to problem solve and figure out the situation. So when I lay down and I consult with God, because I'm constantly going to Him. God, help me through this. God, give me something. Ease my mind from the things that's starting to really get to me. Help me out with this because I truly believe that you can and you will. And because I believe that wholeheartedly, I usually come up with a solution because I want to be on one accord with God. I don't want to be on my playing field and He doing His thing and I'm over here still running away from what He has for me. Been there, done that. Don't want to do that again. Don't like that feeling because I recognize the difference between being over here on my own versus being in accordance with the Lord. It's real, people. It's really, really, really real. Ain't no joke, ain't no play about it. And so, because of that, I'm leaning more to Him all day, every day. I have my moments when I'm just like, you know what? We're going to just not even be bothered. I just ain't no way. But I know what makes me feel good, what makes me really feel accomplished, what continues to aid in me thriving. And so I like that. Okay, let me read what Minnie says. That's so crazy that you said that you don't live in the past. Me and hubby was just talking about this. They call it the past for a reason. Yes, they do. You have to live in the now because you can't change the past. You can't. And one thing about the past, when I think about like decisions that I made, thinking about that, it's good to like reflect. When I do think about the past is to see how well I am growing or to look back and say, you know what? I need to fix what I did because I'm not looking to about anybody. I'm not looking at past friendships. I'm not looking at past jobs. I'm not looking at past relationships, situationships, none of that. I'm not bothered by any of that right now. And I think some people probably may think that a person would, but I have not been impacted by that. That doesn't matter to me because I've grown. To everything, there is a season. To everything, there is a time. To everything, there is a season. There was a season for me to be involved in that relationship. There was a season for me to have that job the way that I did. There was a season that I was involved with my loved ones and being close to them. Or reach back for that. What's the point? I got new, bigger, and better things to get to. That's what I'm trying to. I'm not going to hold on because one, I count my blessings. I do. I count them. I count them one by one, and I'm so grateful for the blessings. Big, small, no, it doesn't matter. The size of the blessing does not matter. I just want to be blessed, and so, no, I can't. You really hold yourself back when you're just looking and oh, woe is me. Nobody has time for them pity parties. Stop it. Stop it. Because you find that you're the only one involved in it. And after a while, that should get dull and boring. I mean, that's just for me, it did. So yeah, I don't think it's healthy to live in the past. I think it's stronger for you to recognize the issues at hand, recognize the good and the bad of the situations or the circumstances, and move forward. I pray that I have much more life, but the way that I'm governing things, the way that I'm handling things, the way that I'm choosing to stay in God's grace and mercy in my life, the way that I am intentional about living out the purpose that He has for me, I really hope that I have more life to live. But if not, I'm working towards the kingdom anyway. I ain't trying to stay here forever. Kingdom living is where it's at. I'm trying to get to the kingdom, walk the streets of gold. Whatever they told me that it is, that's what I want to come go and see for myself. Um, I don't want nothing else but that. So, yeah, that's what I came on here to do. Just to chit chat and test this out. And really be more intentional. Maybe I'll start doing actual programming as to just my daily spiel of what I want to do or talk about. I think this is where Cranium Space Talk will really come into play. It's just going to be random things that I talk about. So yeah, we're going to dub this the Cranium Space Talk. I am here to share and provide my own personal experiences with life. I am here to talk about mental health because that's where my background is. And my light is tripping right now, but yeah, that's where I am. That's where I thrive in is my career. Um, and I just want to tell people that it's okay to go and talk to someone that is a professional in the field of mental health. I wanted to do my own little symposium about the differences between the different areas, psychiatry and social work and psychology, and talk about those differences where there are differences, but there's a great deal of similarity. And I think I may start to talk about that with you all because even when I say go and talk to a professional, people may be really big about doing that, but who do you go to? Do you go to a psychiatrist or do you go to a psychologist? Or do you go to a licensed professional counselor? Or do you go to a licensed clinical social worker? I mean, it's a lot to choose from. Because you can Google people in your area and then all of these people come up and it's like, okay, who can I go to talk about the things that's impacting me right now emotionally and mentally? So I'm gonna start just sharing some things about that with you all because I really, it doesn't matter where you are located in this country, in this world, there's someone there that can help you. It is. I am learning, I think, even for myself, that if you're in the church, you got to take some of that pressure off of your pastors. I think that he handles what he can handle, and he will. But I think if you go to the mental health professionals to help with that, because he can handle the mental, he can handle the emotional and the spiritual. But I like to take the pressure off my pastor and go to someone that can also help me with my mental health a great deal. And so, yeah, I want to start talking about that. Cranium Space Talk is another segment that I've recently introduced. And so, just talking about various topics regarding mental health, or just whatever comes to mind. I'm very random in my world. I enjoy doing that, because I need to let go. And even still, sometimes when I'm letting go, that may reach an ear or it may penetrate the heart. And so I'm fine with it. So I don't care if it's 2 people or 0 people in here. I'm gonna share it, and I know that it'll get to where it needs to get to. But I'm still gonna be talking about purses, y'all. Purses is like food. It brings people together, because you can go to a restaurant to eat and you have your favorite bag with you. And somebody will say, "Oh, I like that. Where did you get that from? Oh, I didn't think they had such a thing." It starts conversations, and I love that about handbags, but particularly Dooney and Bourke. I am hoping that they release some more items. I got some stuff that's on my I'm gonna, not even my wish list, I'm calling it that, my hit list, because I'm going to get those items. And hopefully it'll happen in the next few weeks. Hopefully, because I'll change my mind in a heartbeat. But yeah, I thank you all for stopping in. If you have not subscribed to my channel, which can be kind of random, I encourage you to subscribe. I encourage you wholeheartedly to set up your bell notifications, because of this wonderful randomness that I am giving out. You really need to be on top of when that will come out. So set up those notifications, because they will drop for you, as well as share. There may be something, or there may be something that I have said that you may have engaged in a conversation with someone else about, and to hear it from me hopefully will affirm that discussion in the right way. So definitely share with others. And keep God first in your life. If you don't know who God is, I guarantee you can get to know him today. You can. Don't run away from it. Don't. He is there for you. Has always been. Has always been. But you can make that choice. I appreciate everyone who came on, and you all have a wonderful day. And hey, who knows? I might come back later on today or tomorrow. Just really random. Set up the bell notifications. And that is it. So let me figure out how to end this. Y'all have a good one. Bye.